Hi, welcome to this new episode. Today we are going to provide some tutorial on a demo on which I'm working. Let's get into it immediately. Now we can see how they fit quite well together. A Korg Monopoly presets, one of the many you can find within the digital instruments, and Vienna WSL with a preset of solo strings, which is one of the one part of the classic series. I bought the cube many years ago. As you can see, Vienna WSL is not just a virtual instrument for classical music. This is a completely lie. They are marketing. WSL is marketing that all the entire library for mostly classical music and cinematic stuff, but it can be used in many other kind of genres. And I'm quite upset of that because both Spitfire, Vienna, and all these kind amazing producers of virtual instruments should be informing people that it's not just cinematic music, the music that can be made with this kind of instruments. Have you seen with the Monopoly what is the incredible effect that it does? Now let's check the virtual Minimoog Model D with Fender samples. The way it worked for me is just a pleasant combination. That's a subsection of I think the bridge part of the track. Now we've just listened the virtual Model D in two different roles, bass and lead, and the rest is a plethora of sounds that are taken from a sample of my Fender Rhodes, which is actually here. It's shut at the moment, but it's Mark 73, and the piano is JV-2080, which is here in the rack, which I have actively used in this project. With the same instruments, the JV-2080, now we are going to demo some presets without changing them that much. In the end, I will choose for a TB303, which will be embellishing some part of the project, like decorative sounds. Of course, this is not the role that this instrument, this sound has in many other projects, especially techno and electro. This is more soulful, more mellow, let's say. And then let's see how, first of all, the session in which I simply played whatever came into my mind without so much dexterity, I have to confess, and then what I have chosen. And as you can see, after I played a few parts with the TB found in the JV-2080, I have done some other demoing, listening to other pads and other sounds. neither of these have been chosen, but I have then added a few notes on the existing piano, and then we are going to listen to the piano quickly. Well, yes, so that was the piano. It's not the best part I've done in my entire existence. It's decent. I'm probably going to change this. This is just demo. It's not something that has been already produced and finalized, mixed and mastered. So it's just a demo sitting in my computer. Now because I don't like the straight kick. I'm going to delete that 909, the virtual 909, and place with battery a Linn drum, which I think might work a bit better with this track. As you can see, while the track is running, the Linn drum has been played live on my Arturia keyboard while the sequence was running. I usually don't program with the mouse. I simply play all my parts with my hands, whether they are right or wrong, and then I edit them post-recording. Now I wanted to taste, to give another taste of Minimoog Model D, so I've tried a couple of other sounds and I've ended up with a new break, so this track is becoming a proper mess. See how cute is the clap with a bass of a Minimoog bass, even if it's just one note. And giving here some cue. It's quite cozy. I think I like the feeling. And these are the percussion. These are wood percussion and some metallic percussion. It's all from LP. I like Latin Percussions. It's a very nice brand. I use them in many tracks. The percussion are metallic percussion and wood blocks, which both come from the collection of Latin Percussion. I like this brand. I use them in many of my projects. The hi-hat come from battery, and now we are going to listen to a part of the hi-hat rhythmic part with some of the pads, in order to show the contrast that hi-hat, claps and high-hand instruments bring to the production when you overimpose to them some nice soulful pads. This is something I have not invented. If you listen to any soul records from the late 70s, early 80s, you will listen to these, especially in the jammers, for example, but many other bands and groups, disco and studio groups, have these kind of soulful pads and these percussions and dynamic hi-hats, which were creating a very stark, nice, beautiful contrast. This is another part of the piano. For the piano, I would say I haven't used a proper Bosendorfer or a Steinway. I wish. There are studios here in London who have these pianos, and if you go into the dead time, you can pay a decent amount of money for recording them. But I wanted to save some money here, so I used the JV-2080. The JV is not exceptional as the piano, as Arturia may be in the digital world, but they have that kind of crunchiness that I like, and in this particular track, the JV piano is something I really particularly liked. In every project, there are instruments which are better suited to that sequence, to that specific project, if they come from either a specific instrument or from the digital world. In this specific case, I preferred, after having tested when I was doing the basic parts for this song, the JV-2080 preset. It's one of the many pianos that you can find, I think, in the machine without expansions. And the last bit that I want to talk about is the Vienna VSL part, which are Viola's part, I think, here, where I wanted to process them using, again, the Quadraverb 2 Plus. As you can see, I take the MIDI track inside Logic. Patch Bay is going to channels that reach the effect, as you can see the effect in the small picture that I placed here. And then they come out and get in a channel, in another channel. I prefer to have a separate recording. I could do it in many other ways, but I prefer to have a serial recording, because there are some times when I mix them the two together, sometimes when I just leave the original because I'm bored and I don't like anymore what I've recorded with the external effects, and sometimes where I leave the external effect. I want to leave it for the future. So I want to have all the options available, A, B and AB together. And here it's a little example of what is an external effect. Nothing special really. A Quadraverb 2, a very old effect that I bought in Italy from Merula, the shop, from Alesis in the, I think, mid-90s. It's an instrument that from time to time I use. It's not very often used, but for this piano I want to give it a 90s sounds, and that was the best machine I could use, probably after the DP4 Plus, which I have not used for this track. But in the future, if I take back this track, probably I'm going to test the piano again on a DP4 Plus. Okay, thank you very much for following me until this point. This is practically a little bit of work on one track. There will be many more sessions on this track. I will probably share some of them in the future, Please note that this is just a demo and is not a finished track. Now, I would like you to, if you want, to propose to you to listen what I've done until now, and then one of the next week, there will be another nice project which I'm going to share with you.